The St. Louis Dragons have been playing some good football, having won 4 in a row, but we're in for a challenge today on the road against the Patriots and the Saints, two teams who have played quite well as of recent, vying for playoff spots in their respective conferences. The storyline I'm most excited about is that we might finally get the matchup between college rivals Puma Whitlock and Callaghan October. This will be the fourth time that we play against the Saints since the two of them were drafted, but they've never played each other due to injuries between the two of them. In the last episode, we had a doubleheader against the Bills and the Lions, winning both games. Both matchups were really closer than they should have been. We took care of business against Buffalo. We were up 17-0 late in the first half. Ultimately slowed down a little bit, but turnovers and big plays ultimately helped us get the edge there. And then we beat Detroit, who has the worst record in the NFL. Another game that was closer than it should have been. We really didn't play all that well during most of the game. But we had an unbelievable performance out of Simeon Bonnet, who had 4 sacks while being lined up against Penei Sewell, one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. And he did it in 3 quarters as he missed the 4th with an injury, which ironically is where our defense played the best. As it stands now, we are the 2 seed in the NFC. Keep in mind, Carolina has the head-to-head over us. Our point differential is also second in the NFL. We're second in total points scored. We're top 10 in points allowed. And obviously, we are the runaway favorites in what has been a disastrously bad NFC West, where everybody is on losing streaks. The Rams have dropped 3 in a row. The Niners have dropped 4 in a row. And the Seahawks have dropped 7 in a row. Those 3 teams are really, really struggling bad. And we're only a few weeks away from clinching this division. Since we're now over halfway through the season, I do want to take a quick look at the stats for the team just to update you guys where everybody is statistically. Of course, Puma Whitlock's having a great season, and the biggest thing for him is that the turnovers have been down. He's on pace for a career low in interceptions, and it would be his first season in the single digits in that category. Of course, the run game has been really solid with the development from Milan Santa, who has been really good this year. Him and Juskins have gotten the exact same amount of carries, and Santa has the edge in terms of touchdown production. He also hasn't fumbled it twice and slightly has the edge in terms of average, but both of them are getting over 5 yards a carry, which is really big. Obviously, Arturo Modelo's had a great season out wide. Modelo leads the NFL in receptions by kind of a lot, and then everybody else is sort of in that next cluster. It's going to be nice getting Jalen Mallard back at receiver after missing a couple of weeks, and we're also going to get guard JT Robinson back. Outside of Robinson and Bugsy Briggs, nobody on the offensive line has allowed more than 1 sack. We've got really good production from the O-line, and then obviously the defense has been quite solid as well. Simeon Bonnet, of course, leading the way. He has 30 tackles this year, 23 of which have gone for a loss, along with 13 sacks. Malachi Weston has been one of our big surprises. He, of course, is second in sacks, and we're finally seeing some turnovers defensively. We got 5 in the last episode over those 2 games after only getting 2 turnovers in each of our first 7 games. So let's take a look at this matchup here against the New England Patriots, who regularly have been one of the better teams in the NFL during this series. I mean, they won the Super Bowl in Season 2 and have been a steady playoff contender. It's been a weird season for them at 5-5, because they lost their first 5 games of the year, but have certainly rebounded. It's hard to come back when you're 0-5, but they have done exactly that, having won 5 straight, and we'll see if they can keep their hot streak going. They're in a really competitive AFC East division, so they need all the wins they can get. We also have a little mini prospect spotlight. I think I mentioned it in a previous episode, but I'm saving the prospect profiles closer to the end of the season, as I just haven't had time to put all the players in the draft class yet. Looking at New England, they are fiercely fighting for a wild card spot in the AFC. Their poor start has made it where they've got some groundwork to make up, currently tied with Buffalo for second place in the division, and both of those teams are certainly tight in the playoff race. During New England's hot streak, they've beaten some really good teams like Buffalo and Kansas City. Now, obviously, we've won 4 in a row ourselves. We're also playing really well. And we've beaten many of the same teams in our win streak. We both beat the Bills. We both beat the Chiefs. We both beat Detroit. And we have 2 of the 3 highest win streaks in the NFL, along with the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's look at this New England team, who is quite balanced from top to bottom. Of course, they've still got Mac Jones at quarterback. Not quite like the career arc we've seen from Mac in real life, but he's become a really good player here. and is obviously a Super Bowl winning quarterback, having won it in his 4th season. Well, we're a few years later into his career. He's now in year 8, where he has still been quite solid. They've got some intriguing young guys behind him, but I don't think Mac's job is in any jeopardy. Out of the backfield, they've got 2 talented running backs with Jeremy Allen Jr. and second-year pro Jarrell Tate. At receiver, they're led by Chase Hunter, one of the best receivers in the NFL, who has been paid accordingly. And they've got some good young players alongside him, such as Braxton Merkenberg, and of course the veteran at tight end, Dallas Goedert. The defense is the strength of this team, including a face who we know very well here in Devin White, who was a stalwart for our defense over the past 5 years. We made the tough decision to trade him away in the offseason for Bubba Watkins and a late 3rd rounder, which ended up being Jalen Mallard. And while I think that trade will still benefit us in the long term, I'm surprised by how good Devin White has been this year for New England, and he has got paid handsomely with a big 3-year extension. I really felt like Devin White was not the same player over the last couple of years compared to what he was in seasons 1 through 3. That, along with financial reasons, is why we traded him away, and while there's not really any chance we would have been able to bring him back with his contract being up after this year, he's better than I would have thought, and had I known he would have been this good, I would have been reluctant to trade him, or at least I certainly would have tried to get more value. The rest of their defense is really strong as well. They've got a great secondary with Jalen Ramsey and Christian Gonzalez at corner. They've got a really good safety tandem as well, although they will be without Kyle Duggar today, a big loss for them in the secondary. So it should be a fun matchup here as the 7-2 St. Louis Dragons, winners of 4 in a row, face off against the 5-5 New England Patriots, winners of 5 in a row. 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL, and it's a revenge game for a couple of guys. Of course, New England does not just have Devin White, but they also have another former Dragon on defense in DeJuan Overton, who was a rotational defensive tackle for us over the last 4 years, ends up in New England, where he as well has played quite well and was rewarded with a contract extension. So the Patriots will start with the ball. Jones on first down is intercepted! Cam Lucifer with a pick on the first play of the game. A quick start for the St. Louis Dragons as Lucifer nabs his 3rd interception of the year, which ties the league lead. So the Dragons are going to start with outstanding field position off the turnover. 2nd and 9, Puma goes short. It's Arturo Modelo with room, dives into the end zone for a touchdown. It's Modelo time. Arturo Modelo has the Dragons quickly ahead 7-0. Not even a minute into the game. That's about as good of a start as you can ask for. 3rd and 2, Jones misfires looking for Juice Lewis. Another stalled drive for the Patriots, but at least they didn't turn it over, I guess. 3rd and 7, Puma Whitlock connects with the tight end, Isaiah Likely. That was good coverage there by Jabril Peppers, but Likely is able to hang on for the first down, gaining 10. Following play from the 47, it's Joe Mixon losing 3. Hassan Reddick brings him down for a loss. Reddick, acquired via trade in the offseason from Tennessee, has been highly productive this year. After a penalty at 2nd and long, as Puma is sacked, it's Reddick again, forcing a loss of 9. So that'll make it a 3rd and very long, 3rd and 28. The Dragons aren't going to try to get cute. They're going to play it safe, run the ball. But Milan Santa gets injured. We went through that play hoping surely nothing bad will happen, but he ended up hurting his hip. It should be a serious injury, though. He'll likely return later in the game, but obviously not ideal getting your young running back banged up. So the Patriots have it back. So far, their offense has done virtually nothing as Chase Hunter is slammed in the backfield for a loss of 2. It's a jet sweep, and it does not fool Simeon Bonnet, his 24th tackle for loss of the year. He is certainly on pace to break the record. His Defensive Player of the Year season 2 seasons ago, he was 2nd all-time in tackles for loss at 35. Malachi Weston hurt after a gain of 1 by Jeremy Allen Jr., and Weston's going to go to the locker room. That's not good news. He's been the Dragons' 2nd-best pass rusher this year, only behind Simeon Bonnet. 3rd and 11, Jones under pressure, rolls to the right, and he is sacked! Simeon Bonnet leads the way along with Trajan Blyshenden and Nnamdi Sanaga. The 3 of them will get half a sack each, and New England's going to have to punt it away. Dragons get it back after a pair of big plays from Bonnet. As Darwin Juskins bounces off a blocker, he gets around 5, and now he's injured. So both the Dragons' 2 main running backs are hurt. It's a dislocated shoulder for Juskins. He'll be out for the game. Again, probably not a serious injury, but unlike Santa, he will not return today. 3rd and 5. Puma looking to throw it under pressure. Sacked again. What a start for Hassan Reddick. 3 tackles for loss and 2 sacks in the first quarter. Looking like Simeon Bonnet out here. 2nd and 10 now from the 13. Mac Jones looks to throw it. Goes short. And Owen Popo lays the boom on Jeremy Allen Jr. And now he's injured. And he will likely be out for the rest of the game. The injury bug is rampant here in the first quarter in Foxborough. I can't help but wonder, is the soggy ground contributing to this? 3rd and 15. Jones up the middle. It's caught by Merkenberg. And finally, New England gets their first down of the game. Braxton Merkenberg, the Patriots' newest white receiver, makes the play, and they'll move the chains. From the 29-yard line now on 1st down. It's play action for Tate. Bonnet flies into the backfield for a sack. Not blocking Simeon Bonnet is certainly a strategy. It's not a good strategy, but it is a strategy. To be fair, there's not much of a difference if you do put Bonnet one-on-one with the right tackle. 3rd and 11. Jones misfires completely, looking for Juice Lewis. Another stalled drive for New England, but at least they finally got a 1st down, right? So the Dragons are going to get it back with 25 to go here in the first, with pretty good field position at the 39. Zeke Mosley with the handoff, and he gets around 12. With the injuries to both Santa and Juskins, we're going to see a lot of Tornado Davis and a little bit of Zeke Mosley out of the backfield as well. Into the second quarter, 3rd and 4. Puma Whitlock on the run under pressure. He knows he can outrun these big boys and gets the 1st down, sliding out of bounds at the 30. Those defensive linemen can move for their size, but they cannot catch Puma Whitlock. 3rd and 10 from the 30. Puma's under pressure, hit as he throws by Reddick. As the ball is jarred out, incomplete. Milan Santa back in the game, unable to hold on as it's Marce Mapu, the 6th-year player from Sacramento State. That'll bring out the field goal unit. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, makes it from 47, and that'll make it 10-0. Dicker, in his career, has struggled in the elements, but he makes that one. And so now New England trails by 10 as Tate loses 7. Take a guess who's in the backfield. It's Simeon Bonnet, who's got 4 tackles for loss already, and we still have 8 minutes left to go in the second quarter. This guy is unreal. 3rd and 17, pass is incomplete, and now Bonnet is hurt because of course he is. I don't think it's going to be a serious injury for Bonnet, but the injuries are really piling on. On the opening kickoff for that possession, Ryan Nada got injured as well with a shoulder injury. So Santa, Bonnet, Nada, and Juskins have all gotten injured today. However, the big injury in this game has been Malachi Weston with a dislocated elbow. Luckily, he's the only guy to have suffered a serious injury up to this point, but I do worry, could we have more with the amount that both teams have gotten early? On 3rd and 1, Modelo drops the pass. Isaiah Youngblood with the deflection. That was in his hands, though. He's got to hold on to that one. So a rare miscue from Modelo, and the Dragons are going to choose to punt it, looking to pin New England back deep, and they will. What a punt by Presley Harvin. Down at the 6. Now, I will say for New England, you've got to feel a little bit better because you don't have to worry about Simeon Bonnet. That certainly limits the chances of a safety. Jones on 3rd and 5 will be sacked anyway. Nnamdi Sanaga and Trajan Bleichenden are each there with half a sack each, looking to replace some of the production lost without Bonnet. Dragons will get it back. It's a 3rd and 9 for the 49. Puma looks to throw it. Goes downfield. He's got Jamison Williams. Breaks a tackle. Jukes away from Ramsey, and he is gone. A 51-yard touchdown for Jamison Williams. What a play after the catch by Lord Jamo. And it's now 17-0. The Dragons with a comfortable lead here in the first half. This is the same lead they had against Buffalo and nearly lost that game. So they've got to be able to hold on. There's still plenty of time for New England, but obviously this is not a good start for them. 2nd and 10. Here's Chase Hunter, thrown down to the ground, but he does get the 1st down, bringing it to the 36-yard line for a gain of 12. That's his first catch of the game. So far, Cam Lucifer has had him in hell. As bad as Lucifer's start to the year was, he has played so much better as of recent. 3rd and 7. Jones misfires for Braxton Merkenberg. Good coverage by Jeff Okuda. And now the Dragons get it back. 3rd and 4. Puma looks to go short, and it is dropped by Mallard. That's Devin White making the play on the ball. And I think the unfortunate thing there is that Jamison Williams looked open downfield, but Puma's first read was short, unable to make the play as New England gets it back. Jones downfield. It is caught. What a catch by Dallas Goedert with the poster over Samasoni Saluni. As New England calls their first timeout, they've still got 2 to go. They're finally past the 50 for the first time all day as Hunter is wide open. Hit hard by Jalen Bourgeois, but not before gaining 20. Problem is, this play's coming back. New England's longest offensive play of the day will be called back on a holding call by Andreas Butte, the former first-round center out of East Carolina. 2nd and 20. Jones will respond right back to Chase Hunter for an even longer gain as Hunter brings it to the 27. So it works out for New England after all. They'll call the timeout. They've still got 40 seconds, so plenty of time to work with. As it's play action, Jones looks to throw it. Under pressure. He is thrown down by Trajan Bleichenden, who's had an awesome first half with a pair of sacks. What does New England do? Rather than call their timeout, they proceed to waste 30 seconds. I don't get what they're doing. They finally call the timeout. I presume they're going to kick a field goal. They had 30 seconds. Why would they chew the clock? Instead, it's going to be a long kick, 53 yards, and it is no good. Wide left. So New England's hideous clock management will bite them in the rear end as they're going to end up with a goose egg on the board going into halftime. The Dragons defense has had some outstanding performances over the past few weeks, and so far they've got another one here pitching a shutout through 2 quarters. Let's take a look at our halftime report around the rest of the NFL. We will start things off in New York. The Jets and Seahawks tied at 7. These two teams, of course, not playing too well. And an interesting note about this week is all the NFC West teams are playing against the AFC East squads. These two teams are playing. The Niners are facing off against the Dolphins. The Rams are playing the Bills. And obviously we're playing New England. In Minnesota, the Vikings continue their impressive season. The rookie quarterback, Simone Rashid, is 15 for 16 with 2 touchdowns, including that one to Jordan Addison, as they lead over the 1-win Lions 14-3. And in Lambeau, 2 NFC foes fighting for playoff spots. The Washington Commanders have the edge. They lead at 17-14 with this touchdown from Juan Escala-Salazar to his number 1 receiver, Jaquan Stennis. Let's move into the second half now. The Dragons are in a good spot. We're up 17-0. I will say the pass game hasn't been all that effective, especially in the intermediate area of the field, whether it's been the weather or New England's defense. And then on the other side of the ball, Mac Jones is probably going to throw the ball a lot, considering they're trailing, so I want to focus on stopping the pass. Milan Santa back in action as he gets around 12 yards. Santa missed most of the second quarter. We did give him a carry late in the second quarter, and it felt like he was running through quicksand, so that's why we have waited until the third to bring him back. 2nd and 8. Puma is sacked by Savion Mingo. It won't be a loss of yards, but it's still a sack. 3rd and 8. A first down conversion for Amarian Cephas as he brings it to the 50. Nice grab there by Cephas, laying out to make the catch, and the chains will move for St. Louis. Following play, Puma looks to go up the middle, and he is sacked again. DeJuan Overton, the former Dragon, with half a sack, along with Savion Mingo again. 3rd and 10, up the middle. Cephas cannot hang on. That was a good throw, and it was in his hands too, but Jabril Peppers jars the ball away. So again, the Dragons are going to look to pin him deep rather than go for it. And it looks like Presley Harvin might have done it again. Not quite. It bounces in the end zone, and New England dodges a bullet, especially considering Simeon Bonnet is back in the game. Bonnet with 4 tackles for loss before getting hurt. 3rd and 9. Mac Jones under pressure. He is sacked. Trajan Bleichenden and Simeon Bonnet are there with half a sack each. 2 sacks now for Bonnet. 2.5 for Trajan Bleichenden, who's had an unbelievable game. Bleichenden had 2 sacks through the first 9 weeks of the year. He's now got 2.5 additional sacks today. Davis gets 1, and unfortunately, Samandre Mack The talented young right guard is hurt. He dislocated his elbow, the same injury to Malachi Weston. So he's out for the game and could miss multiple weeks. 3rd and 6. Puma on the run. Will fire for Isaiah Likely. What a play by Puma Whitlock, escaping the pressure. Perfectly puts the throw on the money. He's going to see some more pressure from the interior with the loss of Mack. And it doesn't help in the run game as well because you've got Devin White shooting the gap like it's nothing. White flying in the backfield just like old times as it's 3rd and 11. It's an RPO for Jamison Williams, and he only gets 2. Marte Mapu with the stop. The Dragons now with another 4th and kind of long in kind of 4-down territory. And look at this. They're going to go for it this time from the 39. Puma looks to throw it, and it is broken up. Amarion Cephas cannot hold on. It's Mapu again, who's had a really good game for this New England defense, making another play. Patriots back with it, trying to finally score. As on 3rd and 7, Dallas Goedert hangs on. He brings it to the 30. Mac Jones is finally at 50% completion percentage. It took him a while. 2nd and 10 now at the 31 with just under 2 to go in the 3rd. Play action. Jones on the run, connects with Goedert. He's got a block, and he is gone. New England finally on the board with a touchdown for Dallas Goedert, and it is now 17-7. So the Patriots scored, takes them nearly 3 quarters, and the Dragons get it back. 3rd and 11. Short pass caught by Likely, trying to fight for the first down, and he does not get it. A big stop by the defense, and inside your own 40-yard line, you cannot go for it. I don't care how close you are. The Dragons punt it. New England gets it back. 1st and 10. Here's Jabril Fofana with the pressure. Jones on the run with a dime for Dallas Goedert, who's had a big 3rd quarter. 7 catches, 95 yards on the day for Goedert. And now with under 15 to go in the quarter, it's a handoff for Jyrell Tate, the former Oregon Duck. Spins away from Bourgeois. Gets by Lucifer and is wrapped up by Nnamdi Sanaga. But not before getting a huge run to wrap up the 3rd quarter. It looks like he's got some words with Penultimo Barahona. Even though the Dragons had the edge, that was a really impressive quarter by New England. They're finally getting something going on offense, and it seems like they've got all the momentum. They're going to keep it going here to start the 4th as Juice Lewis makes the play to the 27-yard line. Now, here the following play. Jones looks to throw it again. Short pass caught by Goedert. That'll go for another 1st down. And Mac Jones looks like a completely different man from what he was in the first half. He was missing throws. He was not evading pressure, and now he looks awesome. 3rd and 1. Short pass is caught by Juice Lewis. Jukes away. He's in for a touchdown. The Juice is loose, and it's all of a sudden a 3-point game. The Dragons' offense really has not had a very good performance today. They've got to wake up. 2nd and 3 up the middle. Amarion Cephas with a nice grab before being hit hard by Devin White, but not before getting the 1st down, gaining around 18. 2nd and 10. Puma looks to throw it. Looking downfield, it's Amarion Cephas again, who gets it to the 25. Big drive so far for Cephas. Him and Youngblood have some words for each other. These two teams really going at it. 2nd and 10. Here's Milan Santa. He will lose around 3. A big play from Josh Uche, and so that'll make it a 3rd and 12. Time is ticking, under 5 to go. Biggest play of the game so far. Puma goes short. It's Arturo Modelo who does not get the 1st down. He gets 11. Wrapped up by Isaiah Youngblood. That'll make it a 4th and 1. You can kick the field goal, but the Dragons want to make this a 2-score game. They're going to risk it for the biscuit and go for it. Short pass is caught by Modelo, who hangs on despite a big hit by Peppers. Great catch by Modelo, his 8th of the game. Following play, Santa fumbles it! And it's picked up by New England! Devin White with the recovery! And New England will get a chance with the ball after all. So the Dragons convert the 4th down play, but Milan Santa fumbles it on the very next snap. That's his first fumble of the entire year. It's kind of hard to tell if that was a fumble or not from that angle. I want to take a look at the replay, and as you can see right there, that ball is out. It was number 46, Ja'Kai Exenor with the hit. Hassan Reddick with a big play as well, and it is Devin White who picks it up. So New England gets the ball only down by 3. All they need is a field goal to tie it, as Jones gets an early 1st down to start. Nice grab by Chase Hunter, despite good coverage by Lucifer. 3rd and 3. Jones's pass is incomplete. Big hit by Owen Popo as Goddard could not hang on for what would have been his 10th catch of the game. And New England's going to punt the ball. Okay. I would have gone for it. It's 4th and 3, not 4th and 12. So the punt from Metarizo will be caught by Robinson with a good return as he brings it past the 40. New England trusts their defense, and to be fair, they have done a really good job stopping the run. The Dragons have not scored at all here in the second half, but I feel like they might regret not going for it as Milan Santa gets the first down, brings it to the 40. New England's now out of timeouts. A first down ends it. 3rd and 2. Santa does not get it. He's tripped up late by Mapu. That makes it a 4th and 1. The Dragons can chew off some clock and kick a field goal, but you know what they want to do. They want to end this game. 4th and 1. Puma up the middle. He's got Modelo who hangs on, and that'll do it. Despite a big hit by Devin White, Modelo hangs on to the ball, his 9th and most important catch of the game, and that will end it. The Dragons snap New England's win streak, their first loss since week 5 in a defensive slugfest here in the rain, 17-14. This isn't necessarily the Dragon way of winning, but hey, we won. It works. Now, I will say it was a struggle for both offenses. New England did not score in the first half. We did not score in the second half. And both of our touchdown drives weren't even really touchdown drives. The first one, we started at like the 30-yard line because of the interception. And then the second one, we had a 50-plus yard touchdown by Jamison Williams. So it wasn't even really a full drive. Puma Whitlock wasn't great. He wasn't bad. He didn't make any mistakes, and he didn't turn the ball over, which, considering the weather, that's pretty impressive. As for Mac Jones, the two halves were two different players. In the first half, he looked lost. In the second half, he looked awesome. Neither team ran the ball well. Rough day for Milan Santa from the injury to the fumble, and he just wasn't all that good throughout the duration of the game. Big performance from Dallas Goedert. Of course, a big performance by Arturo Modelo. Cephas, Likely, and Jamo all played pretty well, too. Both offensive lines had their rough moments with some notable performances on defense. Devin White had 17 tackles, including the big fumble recovery. I was wrong about Devin White. I didn't think he still had it in him, and he clearly does. I don't fully regret making the trade, but I didn't think he was going to be this good. Simeon Bonnet and Trajan Blyshenden combined for 9 TFLs. Blyshenden had 2.5 sacks. Bonnet had 2. Hassan Reddick also with 2. And shout out Cam Lucifer with the interception. And also shout out Eddie Pinheiro for missing the field goal in the first half. Considering the final deficit of this game was 3, that field goal ended up being the difference. So a good win here for the Dragons. Got to give credit to the defense for holding up for most of the game. And I guess I have to credit the offense for limiting the turnovers. I'm not going to say avoiding them. Milan Santa. We do have 2 new injuries, and both of them are pretty significant to the offensive and defensive lines. Malachi Weston and Samandre Mack each dislocated their elbow. Luckily, we're only going to be without Mack for this one game against New Orleans. Malachi Weston's going to be out for a little bit longer, missing 3 weeks. So we're likely going to have Royal Osachua start at right guard, and we're likely going to see a lot of Trajan Blyshenden. He certainly stepped up today when Weston got injured with the 2.5 sacks. So we'll see if he can keep it going. Again, Weston, of course, was our second most productive pass rusher this season. For the first time in about a month, we had an NFC West team win. The Niners upset the Dolphins. Good for them. The other 2 teams lost, obviously. Players of the week, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, J.C. Horn, and my guy, Chidobe Awuzie. And I want to say, Madden kind of called it with not just him on the Titans, but also L'Jarius Sneed. We had Awuzie in the Titans franchise last year, so I kind of called it as well. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. As that's going to bring us into Week 10 against the New Orleans Saints. It is worth noting that Carolina won again, so they still hold the number 1 seed in the NFC. But we are ridiculously close to clinching this division. I don't think it can happen today, but it can happen as soon as next week, depending on other circumstances around the league. The other big thing here is we're finally getting the Puma Whitlock versus Callaghan October matchup, and this is a must-win game for the Saints, who are 5-6. They're fighting with every fiber they've got for a wild card spot, and they've been playing pretty well. They've won 2 in a row after a slow start. They haven't had their bye week yet, so they might be a little tired and drawn out, but they're also playing good football, and they know they need all the wins that they can get in a loaded NFC. The Saints are on the outside looking in, but they're only a game and a half back of the 7th seed. So if they can win this game, they can absolutely give themselves a path to making the playoffs. Of course, the most exciting part about this game is the quarterback matchup. Puma Whitlock and Callaghan October, two college rivals. Puma with Ohio State, October with Michigan. Puma Whitlock had October's number in college, but in the NFL, we haven't really gotten the matchup. Last year in the playoffs was the first time that both guys started against each other, but remember, Puma got hurt on the first drive. So, does that really count? Of course, the Saints have some good skill position players, most notably Justin Jefferson, who they traded for in the offseason from Minnesota. The trade has definitely worked out for the Vikings, being that they have been wildly successful this year. As for Jefferson, it's taken him a little bit to be acclimated in the Saints offense. He's never gotten less than 1,100 yards, but he could this year, but I imagine it won't take too much longer for him to keep up. And obviously, these guys have a lot of mouths to feed with Chris Olave and 34-year-old Tyreek Hill. The thought of covering Jefferson and Hill is quite scary, considering their quarterback play and considering they've got a great offensive line. Their defense is a little bit questionable, though. They did acquire Tariq Woolen in the offseason. We've, of course, played against him plenty of times, being that he has spent his last 6 seasons in Seattle. So let's hop into this game here at the Caesars Superdome. College rivals Puma Whitlock and Callaghan October might finally play against each other. Puma Whitlock has played against the Saints 3 times. Well, I guess his team has played against the Saints 3 times since he was drafted. And I think he's thrown a career total of 4 passes against New Orleans. The first time these two teams played back in Season 3 in New Orleans, October was hurt, and Puma got injured in the first quarter. Neither of them played. The second time around, Puma Whitlock was already injured. That was the infamous Week 18 game in Season 4 that we tied to clinch the 1 seed, and then obviously we know last year in the playoffs, Puma gets hurt early, and from there we never really had a chance to win that game. So it looks like we're finally going to get Puma Whitlock and Callaghan October facing off in their NFL careers. It's been 4 or 5 years since they had a proper matchup, and the Dragons will start on offense as it's Arturo Modelo with a nice catch, gaining around 16 yards. He was hit late, but is able to hang on for the first down. 3rd and 6. J-Mo is open, but it's incomplete. Puma overshoots it as J-Mo's got some words with Jawal Jarrett, the talented young safety out of Iowa State. Puma didn't get hurt on the first drive. That's an accomplishment considering it's happened twice against New Orleans in his NFL career. October, play action. It fools DJ Orleans as it is hauled in by Chris Olave, going 70 and a 35 as he gets the conversion. Speaking of DJ Orleans, it's good to have him back after missing the last handful of games with injury. 3rd and 4, the pass is caught but out of bounds by Tyreek Hill, and so that'll lead to a punt. Hill in his 2nd season with New Orleans, now 34 years old, one of the oldest receivers in the NFL. As the Dragons get it back, here's Juskins powering his way forward for a first down. Juskins missed most of the game last week against New England, and he was sorely missed, so it's nice having him back. Following play, Puma will connect. A risky pass for Jameson Williams, who makes a great play after the catch, breaking tackles, and his reward is an injury. And to be specific, it's a pretty big one. It's a broken collarbone for J-Mo, and obviously that's a multi-week injury, so we're going to be without one of our key players on offense. We're going to see more Amarion Cephas, we're going to see more Colin Robinson, we're going to see more Jalen Mallard, and Arturo Modelo's plate is going to get heftier than it's already been, so the Dragons lose one of their big play threats for likely multiple weeks. 3rd and 3, Puma under pressure, it is dropped by Aaron Mayer, who may also see an increase in snaps, as it's jarred away by Julius Brents. Look at this, 4th and 3. The offense stays on the field. They're going to go for it. Puma looks to throw it. It is dropped. Colin Robinson had it in his hands, but it's pushed out late by Jerome Baker. Robinson getting some extra snaps with the injury to Jameson Williams, and, well, that's not how you capitalize with your extra playing time, buddy. Saints now with it. Here's Rashad Price Jr. up the middle to the 45, the 2nd-year running back out of the University of Georgia, gets the play there for New Orleans. With 30 to go now in the first, New Orleans has it at around midfield. October, under some pressure from Finnegan Howell Coleman as he connects with his tight end Cole Kmet, who was hit quickly by Nada, but not before getting the first, as that brings us into the second quarter. No score up to this point. On second down, it's a handoff for Price, and he is going backwards. Ryan Ramczyk did a great job on that block with Simeon Bonnet, so Bonnet proceeds to tackle both the running back and Ramczyk. Unfortunately, Jeff Okudah is hurt, grabbing at his shoulder. That's not good news, especially considering all the guys the Dragons have to cover in this offense. 3rd and 12, October loads up for the end zone, and it is overthrown. That was Bonnet sending pressure, of course. Who else would it be? And it looks like New Orleans is going to have to send a field goal unit on here on 4th and 12. It's a 47-yard try, looking to get the first points of the game for either team as Barber times the snap, but misses the block. Barber could be seeing some extra snaps with Jeff Okudah getting banged up as it's now 3-0. Dragons back with it, 3rd and 9. Puma looks downfield for Colin Robinson, who gets the first to the 47. Good to see Robinson looking to redeem himself for the 4th down drop on the last possession as the Dragons get another 3rd down, this time 3rd and 7 from the 50. Puma's pass will doink off of Colin Robinson's helmet. Robinson wasn't even the intended target. Puma was looking for Isaiah Likely. Robinson should have tried to catch the ball, though. He would have probably gotten the first down. 3rd and inches, October under pressure, heaves it up, and he is intercepted. Demore Diggins with the pick. And the defense delivers a big play. The Dragons' offense is ice cold, though. They have not scored since halfway through the second quarter of the New England game. That's literally a full game's worth of time. The offense has got to get it together. Arturo Modelo with a nice play on the slant route brings it to the 19. So St. Louis finally gets it in the red zone. We'll see if they can finally score points for the first time in over a game's worth of action as Juskins is untouched into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the year. What a move by Darwin. Juskins up the middle. Wasn't even grazed by one of the defenders. Whoop! And with that, the Dragons finally on the board for the first time in over 40 minutes worth of action, as it is now 7-3. So the Saints are going to get it back with around 3 minutes to go in the half, as this pass is caught by Olave, who gets it to the 45. I will say both Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill have been pretty quiet up to this point. Final play before the 2-minute warning. This one is caught by Justin Jefferson, gets by the defender, and he gets the first down to the 34. New Orleans has all 3 of their timeouts, so I don't think clock should be much of an issue for them. First play after the 2-minute warning. Downfield pass is caught. Olave again gets it to the 11. Chris Olave has been the best of the dynamic receiver trio, and now the Saints have it in the red zone. First down from the 11. We'll see if October and New Orleans can get back ahead as this one is caught in the corner of the end zone by Justin Jefferson. Mom, get the camera. I'm quittying. As Jefferson beats Barber on the turn towards the corner, and the Saints now lead at 10-7. Dragons back with it. They trail by a field goal. 3rd and 9 with under a minute to go in the half. Puma in empty in the backfield as he will finally snap it under some pressure from Foskey, and it is dropped by the linebacker. That should have been intercepted by Dre Greenlaw. New Orleans back with it. Hill breaks a tackle, and you're not beating Tyreek Hill in a foot race. 71 to the crib, and the Saints add to their lead. Even at 34 years old, Tyreek Hill is the fastest player on the field. So once he broke that tackle, I think everybody knew he was gone. Gotta finish there. That's on Diggins and Bourgeois, who both had a chance to bring him down. 10-point game now, under 30 to go in the half. Puma under a ton of pressure, and it's dropped by Jalen Mallard. Puma's only completed like 50% of his passes today, but his receivers have done him no favors. On 3rd down, Robinson is wide open. He does hang on and is pushed out at the 42. With only 10 seconds left, the Dragons do have all 3 timeouts. They're obviously not going to need them. So what they're going to do is they're going to go short on 2nd down for Robinson, who gets 6. The thought process here is that rather than going for the end zone, why not get a little bit closer to field goal range? It's still going to be a long kick, 54 for Dicker, but that's a lot more manageable than 58. To make it a one-score game, this one is up, and it is good! Cameron Dicker, the kicker, makes it from 54. The Dragons have some work to do, but they're within 1 possession as it is 17-10. I think the injury to Jamison Williams has proven to be a bigger deal than expected. We knew we would miss him, but outside of Modelo, the receiver play has really not been good. let's take a look at our halftime report around the rest of the NFL. We'll start things off in Cincinnati. The Bengals facing off against the New York Football Giants. And Cincinnati's got the edge 17-14. Look at Joe Shiesty celebrating in the end zone. Bengals gotta win if they want to keep any playoff hopes alive. In Cleveland, the Steelers and Browns have been two of the more disappointing teams in the NFL this year. Pittsburgh in particular. They got the 1 seed last year. They do lead this one 17-0 with this touchdown from Ty Poland to George Pickens. A win could put the Steelers back in the wild card picture. And in Washington, the Eagles and the Commanders are tied atop the NFC East at 6-4. Both teams fighting closely for a playoff spot, and we're tied at 14 with that touchdown pass to the running back, Newton Burke. Let's move into the second half. It's been another struggle for the offense, but at least we're starting to move the ball down the field well over the last couple of drives. And then defensively, I feel like we've been pretty good on defense, but the Saints have gotten a few really big plays. Obviously, the touchdown by Hill really comes to mind, so we've got to limit those explosive gains. On 3rd and 4, October loads it up, and he's picked. Samasoni Saluni with the first interception of his career. I'm surprised it took him 3.5 years, but he's never gotten a pick until today. That's October's second interception of the game. Both of them, he just kind of threw it up, hoping for some luck, and obviously didn't happen. 3rd and 8, Puma's pass is caught by Modelo, trying to fight for the first down, and he will not get it, as he's just short. Jerome Baker brings him down. 4th and 1. You know what St. Louis is going to do. They will go for it. Darwin Juskins does not convert. He is tackled behind the line of scrimmage by the rookie Nolan Risk. So a big play there by Risk, a day 3 edge rusher who we liked quite a bit, ultimately makes a play. I guess that's revenge for not drafting him. October has Tyreek Hill wide open downfield to the 31. Not covering Tyreek Hill is not the best idea, we'll put it that way. 3rd and 2, October under pressure, incomplete looking for Jefferson. So the defense does hold, but New Orleans can make it a 2-score game here with a field goal. This shouldn't be too hard of a kick from around 40 yards. It is up and through. So the Saints lead it 20-10. The Dragons have some work to do, but they've still got time, not even halfway through the third. Milan Santa with a good run. I feel like he should have tried to cut to the outside rather than follow the block, but still a good gain for the young running back, Milan Santa. 2nd and 10, play action. Short pass is caught by Juskins, outrunning the defense, and Darwin Juskins gets it to the 41. Obviously, that wasn't Puma's first read, but he was under pressure, goes short, and it proves to actually be a pretty big gain with a great play after the catch by Juskins. 2nd and 6, short pass is caught by Arturo Modelo. He gets by one defender and is out of bounds at the 10. A huge play after the catch by Arturo Modelo. 3rd and goal now from the 1. Puma looks to throw it, rolls out. Short pass is caught for a score. Isaiah Likely will likely make it a 1-possession game, his 5th touchdown of the year, and the Dragons will cut the lead back down to 3. Good play there by Puma Whitlock, under pressure, on the run. Neither defense has gotten a sack, by the way, and we're deep into the 3rd now. October misfires up the middle for Olave, so the Dragons force a 3-and-out. They'll get it back on offense, and Kintyre take the lead. On 1st down, Juskins loses 2. Not a good start to the drive. Big start for New Orleans. 3rd and 7 now. Puma looks to throw it. He goes short for Santa, trying to outrun the defenders, and it almost works as he gets around 5. So the Saints ultimately hold for a stop. St. Louis would punt it, and the Saints get it back. 1:14 to go in the 3rd. Both offenses have been playing well, but each defense now with back-to-back stops, as this one is dropped by Lucifer. Would have been his 4th interception of the year. It was right in his hands, but he cannot corral it in. 2nd and 10, October looking for the sideline. It's caught by Chris Olave once again for the first down as he gets it to around the 46. Now starting the 4th, 3rd and 5. The Saints are marching. Downfield pass is hauled in by Justin Jefferson to the 30. Nice grab there by Jefferson, his 7th reception of the game. 3rd and 10 now. Play action. October downfield. He's got Jefferson, who's in for a score. His 2nd touchdown of the game. So Justin Jefferson will make it a 2-possession lead once again, as it is now 27-17. Dragons have some work to do. Puma Whitlock on 2nd and inches. Goes downfield. It's caught by Robinson. who brings it into the red zone of the 19. There's only a few certainties in life: death, taxes, and Colin Robinson finding a way to get 100 yards when one of our starting receivers is hurt. Robinson with 6 catches for 104 yards today. 3rd and 7. Puma looking for Modelo, who hangs on for the first down, and he is out of bounds, being chased by Kader Kohou. Modelo's had a productive day himself. 6 catches, 77 yards. 2nd and goal. Juskins. Naruto runs into the end zone. His 2nd touchdown of the year, which is more touchdowns than he had in the first 10 games combined. And with that, it's a 1-score game again. St. Louis continuing to hang around. New Orleans gets it back with 6 to go. This one is caught by Jefferson. Gets by Okuda. Gets by Saluni. First play of the drive is a 75-yard touchdown for Justin Jefferson. His 3rd score of the game. That's a hat trick to go along with 9 catches for 172 yards. This was the Justin Jefferson game that the Saints have been waiting for this year. And it's a 2-score game again. Back to square one. Dragons again have work to do. Santa with a juke on the screen. He gets it to the 39. St. Louis has got to move fast. Already going no huddle. RPO caught by Modelo. He gets to first and is wrapped up out of bounds at the 43. St. Louis knows being down by 10, they cannot exactly waste time. 2nd and 3. Modelo, open catch. That goes for a first down. Another grab by Modelo, his 10th of the game. His 3rd game of the season with double-digit receptions. His season high is 12. From the 29, here is Amarian Cephas. He's out of bounds at the 17. The Dragons are moving really fast. They've executed this drive perfectly, but they've got to finish with a touchdown. 2nd and 10. Puma on the run, evades the pressure, and he connects with Modelo for the score. What a play by both Puma Whitlock and Arturo Modelo. The best quarterback to receiver connection in the NFL strikes again. Let's take a look at this ultra impressive replay. Puma Whitlock was under pressure, and he had to evade. He's able to find a hole between the tackle and the guard, and he floats it up for Modelo, who's able to find the open space. There was nobody in the middle of the end zone. The chemistry that these two guys have was really on display there as the Saints get it back up by 3. They've got a chance to win the game, although they haven't ran the ball all that well today. 2nd and 5 from the 30. October hands it off for Price, and he loses 2. Samasoni Saluni brings him down behind the line of scrimmage, and that brings us to the biggest play of the game so far. 3rd and 7, 3.5 to go. The Saints looking to snap St. Louis's 5-game win streak as it is broken up. Ron Rakis Barber with the deflection, and the Dragons offense will get the chance to win the game. St. Louis, this time in the 2nd quarter, had 0 points. Now they have 31. Puma Whitlock has taken over this game in the 2nd half and is looking for one more big drive. Juskins loses 2 on 2nd down, though. That'll make it 3rd and 6. Puma looks to throw it. Looking downfield, it is caught for a first down. Amarian Cephas was not open. That was really good coverage by Kader Kohou, but Puma trusts his receiver to make a play, and he does. On first down, Puma is sacked. Isaiah Foskey and Bebe McFarland bring him down. And that brings us to the 2-minute warning. The first sack of the game from either team. It took us the entire length of the game. Foskey looking for another sack. Puma on the run, heaves it up. It's caught by Santa into the red zone at the 16. Another ridiculous throw by Puma Whitlock, who has been on a heater over the last 20 minutes. The Dragons are in the red zone. They're in field goal range. All they need is a field goal to tie, and they're chewing clock. 3rd and 8. Puma on the run again, looking for the lead. He fumbles the ball, and thank God the ball rolls out of bounds. That could have been bad, bad news. Sammy Kalimbo, the rookie out of Kansas State, forces the ball away from Puma Whitlock, but luckily the ball rolls out. Puma couldn't find anyone open. That was really good coverage by New Orleans. And now it's 4th and 5. You can contemplate going for it here, but the Dragons are going to play it safe. They're going to take the points. Dicker for the tie. It is good. So they do trust their defense to hold and get a stop. I felt like going for it on 4th down is just way too risky, and if you don't get it, that's the end of the game. At least this way you can potentially hope your defense gets a stop, possibly bring it into overtime. The 2 regular season meetings against the Saints in the past have both gone to overtime. These 2 teams are not a stranger to the extra period. October up the middle, gets it to Rashad Price. Someone's got to tackle him as he gets it to the 35. All the Saints need to do is get in field goal range. They're probably around 30 yards away, as they almost got the 30 and then some, but the pass for Jefferson was overthrown as Cameron Peralta warms up on the sideline. Peralta's 2 for 2 so far today. Down to 21 seconds. On third down, it's caught by Olave. He gets the first down to around the 40. Great play after the catch, but New Orleans is going to have to use their last timeout. So realistically, this is probably where they're going to go for the field goal, and them chewing clock confirms that, as they will eventually call the timeout with 2 seconds left. This is no gimme of a kick. It is a 57-yarder for Cam Peralta. The field goal range graphic said he needed to get to the 42, so this is within his range, as the Dragons got to call the timeout, looking to ice the kicker. Cameron Peralta's got one of the stronger legs in the NFL. Can he win the game and snap the Dragons' win streak from 57? It is no good. It certainly had the distance. It might have had the distance from 77, but it's wide left. And with that, we're going to overtime. Because we didn't get Puma in October's matchups the first 3 times, we've got to get some extra football with it. It lands on heads. The Saints win the toss. The rare time where tails fails. So obviously New Orleans is going to start on offense, and keep in mind, this is not with playoff overtime rules. If the Saints score a touchdown, that's the end of the game. The Dragons won't even get to touch the football. It is a 6-minute and 55-second overtime period. I'm not sure why they don't just do 7 minutes. As the kick from Dicker will be received just inside the end zone by Tyreek Hill, and he's going to go for it. Hill jukes away from the defender. He's got room. There's nobody in front of him. Tyreek Hill's going to take it all the way with no flags. And the New Orleans Saints walk it off on the opening kick return. Tyreek Hill wins it for the Saints. And the Dragons fall their first loss since week 5. On the opening play of overtime, it's a 102-yard kickoff return touchdown for Tyreek Hill. And New Orleans wins their 3rd game in a row, shocking the Dragons in dramatic fashion. What a game! We finally get the healthy matchup between Puma Whitlock and Callaghan October, and boy, it did not disappoint. It sucks that we didn't get to see either of them throw the ball in overtime, but the football gods blessed us today. Since these guys have never gotten to play each other in the NFL, I guess this game decided to make up for it by having the 2 quarterbacks combine to throw the ball just under 100 times. Callaghan October and Puma Whitlock threw 96 passes. October had an interesting game. He averaged nearly 20 yards per completion. He relied on the downfield stuff, a ton of big plays. He did it with 2 interceptions, whereas Puma Whitlock was more efficient. He had better completion percentage, but not as much of the big home run hits. The run games were, again, pretty lackluster, but we did have some very notable receivers. Modelo, 12 for 127. Jettas, 9 for 172 and 3 touchdowns. Colin Robinson and Chris Olave also with over 100 yards. Tyreek Hill only touched the ball 3 times in this game, but he had 200 total yards and scored twice, so he certainly made his impact, obviously with the big kickoff return at the end in overtime to win it. As for the defense, both defenses were great in the first quarter and a half and then kind of sucked. Simeon Bonnet was held in check. The Dragons' defense had no sacks today. I'd like to think if Malachi Weston was healthy, we certainly would have gotten some sack production. Weston played his first 3 seasons in New Orleans, so I feel for him that he didn't get his chance at a revenge game against the team that really refused to develop him after drafting him, and obviously he's developed quite well here. Let's check in on Jameson Williams. He's going to miss the next 4 games with the broken collarbone, and as I said, we certainly missed him. Now, the receiver play was better in the second half. Obviously, Colin Robinson really picked it up. Jimbo's numbers are down across the board this year, but he has still been highly productive, and obviously he is a big downfield threat. We know Arturo Modelo can handle the big load, but we're going to see more Marion Cephas. He had a good game with some big catches late. We're going to see more Colin Robinson. He obviously had a really strong game, and we're going to see more Jalen Mallard. He was pretty quiet today, but Mallard is now our best healthy deep threat with the loss of Jameson Williams, so Mallard is going to have to stretch the field for us. Here's a look at your scores around the NFL in Week 12. Unfortunately, Carolina won, so not only are we a game behind them, but again, we don't have the tiebreaker. So our chances at the 1 seed are looking worse and worse by the day. Atlanta also won, so they had the same record as us, and we play against them in 2 weeks. We can clinch the division as soon as this week, though, despite losing. If we win and the Rams and Niners both lose, we clinch the division with over a month to go. And at this point, I'm really not worried about the division. It's all about seeding. Carolina, Atlanta, Minnesota, Green Bay, teams like that. Those teams are our competition now. Not the trash cans in the NFC West who have combined to total for the exact same amount of wins as us. Next episode will likely be another doubleheader. I don't think that'll be the first prospect profile, but maybe it will. We'll see. If not, we're going to face off against the 5-6 Buccaneers, who are also pushing for a wild card spot. And then Atlanta, who has the same record as us, 8-3. That's going to be a huge game for seeding, and one of our most important remaining in the regular season. I hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I know it was a long episode, but we had 2 pretty exciting games, so I appreciate you guys for bearing with me. Peace out.